Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Wednesday here on my channel means Crack-a-Pack time, and as this channel mostly focuses on limited, especially drafting, we're going to talk about if we open this pack as our first pack in a draft, what we would pick. And we're also going to talk about all the cards in the context of limited, just to give you my thoughts on the format. So, let's go ahead and open it and see what we have. Our first card is Jeru's Resolve. This is an okay card, thanks to cycling. If it didn't have cycling, I don't personally think it would be that playable. Even in an Exert deck, it's not great. The problem with Jeru's Resolve and combat tricks like it is it doesn't give your creatures a stat boost. Your creature has to be bigger or it has to be the same size as another creature to actually kill it. Otherwise, you're not trading for a card at all. You're just keeping your guy alive. And that might seem sort of good, and it is if your creature's a big bomb. But in the long run, that's kind of a bad thing because you just spent a card to do nothing. Basically, yeah, and that's not really what you want to be doing. The fact that it has cycling makes it more playable. It's okay in an Exert deck, especially an Exert deck that has some bigger creatures who can just block and kill things with the help of Jeru's Resolve. But I'm not a big fan of the card if you didn't catch that. Next, we have Naga Oracle. Perfectly reasonable blue common. It's nice to be able to set up your hand. You can throw some things with Embalm or Aftermath in your graveyard. You can make your Enigma Drake bigger. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with it. Not first pickable quality, though. I really don't want to first pick one of those. Next, we have Cartouche of Zeile, which is a great card in a very aggressive deck. And red-white, black-white, red-white, black-red, and red-green can all end up being pretty aggressive. And when you are, it's a very good card, especially if you have some trials. But making a creature unable to block is a very powerful effect for an aggro deck. Frequently, you'll make like your opponent's Ancient Crab or whatever unable to block, and the rest of their creatures all just die in combat if they block. And you're suddenly really getting in for some damage. Right now, I guess Cartouche of Zeile is my first pick. Next, we have Sparring Mummy, a card I don't like very much. I've never played one personally. I do think they are playable. I have a pretty low opinion of it, but if you end up in a heavy Exert deck, it becomes better. But it's pretty bad otherwise. And I'm not interested in first picking it. Next, we have Shed Weakness, solid green combat trick. Gives something +2/+2, removes a -1/-1 counter. Those things are fine. It's still a combat trick, though, and I would take Cartouche of Zeile over it so far. Next, we have Doomed Dissenter, which is a 2-mana 1/1 who makes a zombie token when it dies. It's a fine card. It's good in the black-green deck because you can put -1/-1 counters on it and not really put yourself back at all because you get a zombie. And it's good in the black-white zombie deck because it makes a zombie. Still, though, I like Cartouche of Zeile more than Doomed Dissenter. Okay, this is my new pick for first pick, and that is Naga Vitalist. A 2-mana 1/2 who ramps you is great. This format is way into ramping. This format is grindy. Having extra mana lying around is great. So Naga Vitalist right now is our first pick. Next, we have Pursue Glory. This thing's fine. I don't know if I've ever actually cast it for the effect. I think every time I've ever had it in my deck, I've just cycled it. But it has a decent effect if you're going wide enough. You don't want to first pick it, and I really only ever play it personally if I'm in a deck with cycling payoffs. Next, we have Unwavering Initiate, a perfectly solid white common, a 3-mana 3/2 with Vigilance, who can come back from the graveyard with Embalm in the later game. Probably the second best card in this pack after Naga Vitalist now. Next, we have Trespassers Curse, which I think is more or less unplayable. If you go up against someone with Drake Haven or Nest of Scarabs, it's nice to sight in because, especially Nest of Scarabs, it's really going to shaft them, but against most people, it doesn't do enough. It's not worth the card. Next, we have Cryptic Serpent, and this card is strong, but you have to build around him. You have to end up with like 10 instants or sorceries in your deck, or he's not really worth playing, so he's not a good first pick. If the pack were really weak, I would first pick it because he's got the most upside of anything in this pack, but because I have Naga Vitalist, I feel reasonable about taking it over Cryptic Serpent. Okay, well, this is my favorite common or uncommon in the set, and definitely the first pick so far, and that is Angler Drake, which bounces something and is a huge monster in the sky. Not much more to say about it, but it's our first pick. It's the strongest card in this pack, stronger even than Cryptic Serpent. Naga Vitalist is a distant third. Next, we have Honored Crop Captain, the red-white gold card. It's fine. It's good in an aggressive deck. It's not a good enough gold card to first pick, though, and I wouldn't do it here. We do have a mythic rare, and it is Cruel Reality. So this thing is powerful as heck, but I would still take Angler Drake over it. Why? Because Cruel Reality costs 7 mana. Yes, Angler Drake costs 6, but Cruel Reality not only costs 7 mana, but it doesn't like immediately do something for you a lot of the time. yeah, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature, but it's generally at that stage of the game, your opponent's going to have extra creatures in play. This is a format with Embalm, where people can just be embalming Sacred Cats out of the graveyard and sacrificing it. Cruel Reality is strong, and I think it's the second best card in this pack after Angler Drake. And I have first picked one before, but I don't think it's as strong as Angler Drake. Angler Drake can just win the game on its own. It doesn't need things to sort of happen a certain way for you to win the game. Cruel Reality takes a sequence of turns to actually get to the point where it's starting to win you the game. I think I can see this one being one that's debated a lot, which is nice because a lot of our picks lately have been pretty obvious, I think, first picks. So in the comments, let me know what you would first pick. And don't forget to also, in the comments below, comment if you want to win all of the month of June's Crack-A-Pack cards. So thanks for watching.